Today we are going to learn how to solve using a simple interest formula. We use these with loans, so our learning target is that we can calculate the simple interest on an account when given the principal amount, interest rate, and time. So we have a formula called I equals PRT, which is right here. And we have what those letters mean. So I stands for interest. Interest is the amount of money owed to a lender or earned from an investment. P is principal. And principal is the fixed amount of money invested or borrowed. Then we have R, which stands for rate. And rate is a percentage that must be rewritten as a decimal to use in formula. And then time. And time is the number of years. And notice it does say years. So for every given months, we have to convert to years that the money is borrowed or invested. So let's practice. Number 1 says that you want to borrow an $8,000 to buy a used car. You plan to pay the loan back over 5 years. You borrow the money from a bank at a rate of 4% per year. So here we have P, principal. So I like to write what they gave us. Principal is $8,000. Then they gave us time, which is right here, of 5 years. And they gave us R, which is the rate of 4%. Okay, anytime we're given a rate of 4% or in percent, remember we have to convert to a decimal. So we place our decimal in the back and move it over to the left 2 times and hold your place value. So that would be a 0.04. And then the last letter in our formula is I, and we don't know that, so that's what we're looking for. So we want to rewrite our formula, I equals PRT. So here it says, find the interest that you will owe to borrow the money. Anytime letters are right next to each other, it means multiplication. So whenever I plug in, I'm going to place everything inside parentheses. Our principal is $8,000. Our rate is 0.04. And our time is 5 years. So here, everything is in parentheses, and it's going to indicate multiplication. So let's do our math on the side. So I have 8,000 times 0.04. There are 2 numbers to the right of the decimal. Okay, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, and 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, and then we have to place a 0 for a placeholder. And then 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 8 is 0. So then we add 0, 0, 0, 2, 3. So we get I equals 32,000. And then we still have to multiply that times 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Back up. I have to place my 2 back into the problem. So my decimal of 2 that I wrote off to the side, this is actually 320 times 5. So I'm going to go over to the side and do 320 times 5. That's a 0, a 10, and 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So then I equals $1,600. So then it says find the total amount of money that we have to pay. That is your principal plus your interest. So we borrowed $8,000, but we also have to pay this interest of $1,600. So together, we are going to have to pay a total of $9,600. Okay, let's go to the next example. So here we have Jason deposited $2,000. That's your principal, and into a savings account that earns 5% That's your rate, simple interest yearly. How much did he earn after 3 years? So there's your time. So here I don't have interest, so that's what I'm looking for. My principal is $2,000. My rate equals 5%, and remember we want to convert that to a decimal, so that equals 0.05, and then my time equals 3 years. Okay, so then I have I equals PRT. I don't know interest. Principal is 2,000. Rate is 0.05. And time is 3. So go off to the side and multiply 2,000 times 0.05. There are two numbers to the right of the decimal. And press pause and multiply that, and then take your answer, and you're going to multiply it times 3. And that's your final answer. Press play when you have finished. Okay, so just to check, you should have gotten 100. And then we have 100 times 3, which equals 300. That's the interest. Okay? Number 2, Marcia needs to borrow $20,000, that's your principal, to start up her food truck business. The bank will charge a 25% interest rate, and she plans on paying off the loan in 18 months. So that's your time. How much did Marcia end up paying in total? If it went to total, remember your total equals your principal plus your interest. Okay, so we have to find interest first. Interest, we're not sure of. Principal equals 20,000. And then time equals 18 months, but in our definitions, we learned that has to be years. So we can convert 18 months into 12 months in a year. So that's 1.5 years, so that'd be 1.5 years. Okay. And then rate equals 25%, which translates to 1, 2, move the decimal over 2 times, 0.25. Okay, so we're going to write our formula of I equals PRT. We're looking for I, so I equals, in parentheses, our principal is 20,000. Our rate is 0.25. And time is 1.5. Okay, so we're going to multiply these first two things times each other first. So 20,000 times 0.25. Two numbers to the right of the decimal. So we have 5 times 0 is 0, 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 and then 5 times 2 is 10. One number, placeholder, 2 times 0 is 0, 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 and then 2 times 2 is 4. So we add these together, okay? And then we have two numbers that we have, or two digits that we have to place back in because of this 2 right here. So then we get 5,000. So we have 5,000 times 1.5 left to do. 5,000 times 1.5. Okay, we have one number to the right of the decimal. Go ahead and finish that. And then write your interest. Okay, you should have gotten 7,500, and that's your interest. Okay, but if we look back at the question, it's asking for the total. So we're going to take our amount that we borrowed, which was 20,000, and add 7,500 to it. And our total is 27,500. Remember, we said that total is P plus I. Okay. Okay, so the last problem is a little different. Here we have Mike deposited 5,000. That's P. Into an account that pays 3% simple interest. That's your rate. Even though it says simple interest, that's the rate at which you're going to pay it. And then it says for how many years? So this one, we're actually looking for T. Will it take for his account to purchase, his account to earn $1,500 in interest? So this is your I. So I equals 1,500. P equals 5,000. R equals 3%, which then goes, if we take our 3% and we move the decimal over 2 times, we get 0.03. And then T equals, we don't know. So then if we plug in I equals PRT, we know I, so instead of writing I, we're going to write 1,500. We know our principal of 5,000. We know our rate of 0.03, but we do not know our time. So here we would solve for 5,000 times 0.03. So go ahead and do that and then press play when you have that part finished. Okay, so if you didn't actually multiply, make sure that you're doing that. You need the practice for that. And we get 150 times T. Well, if now we're just solving a regular one-step equation. 150 times T means that we are dividing inverse operation. We're going to divide by 150. 150 divided by 150 equals T. And 1,500 divided by 150. 150 goes into 150 one time with 0 left over. And 150 goes into 0 0 times. So T equals 10 years. Okay, make sure you write down any questions that you may have over the lesson.